Well, joining us now is our travel expert, Candace Sampson, who's here today with Richard Smart, the president and CEO of the Travel Industry Council of Ontario. So tell us exactly, what is TICO?
Well, I think a lot of people, sorry, Richard, don't know what TICO is.
No.
So that's why
including us.
Right. You don't know, which surprises me that you don't know. Well, because it's been around for a long time. And so it's known as TICO. I'll let Richard tell you a little bit more about what they do.
Sure. Right. Thanks, Candace. And thanks very much for having me here today. Candace is right. TICO, as we're known, Travel Industry Council of Ontario is quite the mouthful. So we go by TICO. We've been around for 21 years. Quite simply, we're the regulator for the province of Ontario, and we regulate the travel industry, or more specifically, travel agencies, tour operators, travel agent. And you might ask, what do we regulate? Well, we regulate consumer protection. We're here solely for the consumer to ensure that they get the protections that are afforded to them under the law. So we are a creature of the government, so we have the power of the administration and the law behind us, but we're really about trying to raise awareness and use education to try to ensure that consumers understand, what they deserve when they're booking travel. Travel is a very emotional purchase, and you want to be confident in what you buy. And that's what we're here for. Now, in extreme cases, when something doesn't go right, we have other tools available to us, which include laying charges and laying fines, and even jail time if there's something really egregious, done with the consumer's travel purchase. But that's always a last resort. We're really more about awareness and education.
Right. And on the TICO site, there's a bunch of tips and blogs that help you when you're purchasing travel, to help you make the decisions, what you need to know before you book and so on.
And what are the factors to maybe balance?
Right. And I had a friend recently who booked a trip through a travel agency, and when she got there, the hotel was under renovation. Well, that should have been disclosed to her before she actually booked that trip. So when she got home, she was trying to, speak to the travel agency, couldn't get any answers. And I said to her, well, why don't you go to TICO? Because they're there to help you file that complaint and get through that process.
So should you be looking, if we're booking a trip, should we be looking for a travel agent that is TICO registered, or do they all have to be?
Yeah, well, we have a saying, look before you book.
Right.
If you keep that in the back of your minds. Every travel agency, the business, needs to be licensed and registered with TICO in the province of Ontario. It's against the law not to be registered with TICO. Every travel agent needs to go through a certification program to ensure that they understand the laws and the consumer protections that are available to consumers. And Candace is right. We do receive, there's millions of travel purchases done in the province. And we regulate the whole province, and particularly up in some of the more rural communities, the awareness and knowledge of TICO isn't as strong as it is in the more urban centers like Toronto and Ottawa and London and so on. So it is a challenge to get our message out, and this is why we appreciate that. But Candace is right. We receive a lot of calls, a lot of complaints from time to time around misinformation and disclosures that are not provided. We don't regulate customer service, and that's one of the things that consumers sometimes are unclear about. And so, if you don't like your food, or you don't like the color of the beach, or you don't like the view from your room, we don't cover that off. But if you're misrepresented, if someone tells you there's 5 a la carte restaurants and you get down and there's 2, or there's a major renovation going on that you were not made aware of. That's an issue for us. And we receive those complaints. We process thousands of them over the course of time.
What are the biggest complaints you get?
As I said, we got a lot of customer service complaints. And we try to educate the consumer. We got an awful lot of airline complaints, lost baggage, damaged baggage. These days,
and
people,
people
seem to be sitting on tarmacs a long time. We don't cover that. But where there's disclosure issues, both before the sale and after the sale. If something goes on after the sale is made, the agent has a responsibility to inform you so you can get a refund or be provided something in the alternative.
So let's just keep one thing clear. Lots of people do book travel online through big sites, so they would not be covered.
Yeah,
Like if
that's-
you book through Expedia and you don't go to an agent.
I would say if you are in Ontario, your safest bet to protect your purchase is to make sure you purchase your travel through a site that is registered at TICO. And that's
Exactly.
super easy to do. You just scroll to
Exactly.
the very bottom of their website, you look for the symbol.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
once you know
That
it's
is my
there, you're
point, because you're
protected.
not really protected if you're going.
It's a great point. And by the way, Expedia is registered with TICO.
Oh,
Okay,
well,
so-
then
so-
there you
so there
go.
you go.
There
Don't be trashing Expedia.
I didn't mean to. I was just asking.
No, but it's an excellent. But,
I was just
I
asking
would
because
have
lots
known,
of
yeah.
people go online and book, like
but you know,
especially millennials. They
there
go.
are lots and lots of other travel sites online. You're absolutely right. I think the stats are close to 80% of consumers begin their purchase online. And there are, a vast number of travel sellers who are online, not registered with TICO. They're operating out of some province or some country that's not regulated, and we don't have anything against them. But we say, why would you forfeit your consumer protection? Deal through a registered travel agency. in
Exactly.
Ontario.
That's my point.
They're knowledgeable.
So,
They're experts, and they can offer you some good value.
great.
Well, Richard, tell us exactly what the website is, because you can file a complaint right online.
So it's tico.ca.
TICO.ca.
Exactly.
Perfect. Well, now we know.
Now we know.
we go.
And so does everybody else.
Yes.
Thanks for coming in,
Well,
guys.
thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Well, she said